Welcome, listeners, to the Lust for Life podcast, where you will be joining a girl on her journey to discovering the depths of emotional intelligence. This is your host, Tennessee Reed. Today, we have a co-host. I'm biased. It's one of my favorite people, if not my very most favorite, actually. My husband, Jake. Jake, do you want to say hi to everybody?
Hello, everybody. Happy to be here.
Today, we're covering our favorite topic. As a couple, I feel like this comes up a lot, and that's gratitude. A heart of gratitude and how that brings peace to every aspect of our life. I'd like to start out with a quote. It's by G.K. Chesterton. It says, "When it comes to life, the critical thing is whether you take things for granted or take them with gratitude." So the way I interpreted that quote was, you're either taking these for granted or you're taking these with gratitude. There's no in between. So literally everything in our life we can brush off or we can give value to because of the value they brought to us. What's resonated with you, Jake, with that quote?
Yeah, I agree. If you're not grateful for something, of course you're taking it for granted. You're not recognizing it. And I think there's a lot that we don't recognize, but if we just took more time out of our day to be able to be grateful and think about things that we are grateful for, we'd be able to start to recognize really how great our life is and really how many good things we have going for us. But I think by not taking time out of our day, so many things just go unrecognized.
Mm-hmm. And I feel like by us picking out the things that go well in our day and the things that we're grateful for, just adds so much more abundance to your day. Like every little thing just means so much to you. Everything is always in your favor when you're always grateful for things, it feels like. And when things aren't in your favor, it feels like, okay, what lesson am I supposed to learn from this? How can I gain anything from this? So having an attitude of gratitude makes everything in your favor. It makes you always in the right place, always at the right time. And the universe wants to give you everything. And the universe has given you everything. We just need to look for it. I feel like so many times we just victimize ourselves and we get in this little rabbit hole of complaints and worries, and we forget about how much, we've been given. My life coach, this was one of the first things she brought up to me when I asked her to coach me was, you have to be grateful every single day. So she challenged me every morning. The first thing I do when I get up is I just start rattling off all the things I'm grateful for, 5 things. And I've gotten into the habit of the moment I wake up, I'm grateful for my body. I'm grateful for my bed. I'm grateful for being able to wake up this morning. I'm grateful for my opportunities that I have today. I'm grateful for the weather. And honestly, it can be the same thing every single day. It's just the fact that you got up and you're so grateful for things just starts your day off so well. And then even better than that is, an hour after I wake up, after I, can actually process what's going around me, I will actually write down like 5 things I'm grateful for and then why I'm grateful for them. And I challenge myself to do new things each day. Not all of them have to be new. If there's something that I'm really, really grateful for that day, and I've said it before, I'm happy to write that down again. But I try to do at least some new ones every single day that I haven't recognized before. Jake, have you done anything like that before?
Yeah. You said a few things I like. One, yeah, I definitely start every day with a prayer, thanking God for everything that I have, anything that I can think of right then. And I even try to close the night off with a prayer to God, expressing all my gratitude for everything that happened during the day. And then regarding the writing down things that you're grateful for, there was a time when I was a missionary where it just got really hard. And so it was easy to get discouraged and to feel down. And so at the end of the night, I made a goal. I'm going to write 5 things down that I'm grateful for every single night. And I tried not to repeat myself with any of those. And it was easy because I had literally a written record. So I never could go back and like write the same thing down, it would have been cheating. So I'm like, I got to think of something new every single day. So then the really hard days, it got to the point where I'm sitting there thinking, like, instead of just feeling down in the dumps and sorry for myself, I would just think of, wow, today I got to write down 5 things tonight that I'm grateful for. Like, I better start thinking. And some days was harder than others, but it made me constantly think of it throughout the whole day. To try to find 5 things that day that I was grateful for. And it just made the huge difference once I started doing that.
And I always tell Jake, um, he served a religious mission, which is you take 2 years out of like your whole personal life, every part of your life, is paused. You go serve the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints for 2 years out in wherever they assign you to spread the word of our gospel and spread the word of Christ and bring others unto Christ and share his love. So it's true dedication from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep at night. It's like full 100%, no break, right?
No
So
personal time.
no personal time. And it's full service 100% of the time, which is so, so hard. So the fact that you were able to find happiness through serving others, which is a big reason probably why, but also just being content with each situation you have, finding something valuable out of each situation, I feel like is what probably brought you happiness. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, you could look like financially, we had like $110 a month to live off of just solely for food.
Crazy.
Couldn't really do any like fun activities or anything, literally just serving people all day, every day. But those are some of the happiest moments of my whole life because there was so much service, which is a whole nother topic, but just the amount of gratitude that I developed like to start feeling every single day.
I love that so much. Something that I thought of today when I was thinking about this topic was if you're ever like shopping for a car and you pick out a certain car model and you're like, oh, yeah, this one looks really good for X, Y, and Z reasons. And then you just kind of put it on the back burner for a little bit. You don't want to just jump on buying a car because they're pricey. But then all of a sudden you start seeing that model of car everywhere driving on the road when you're like, I swear I've never seen like more than one of these in my life. And they're like everywhere, right? So it's the same concept with gratitude, is what I'm coming to learn is once you start being grateful for things, once you start finding value in things you didn't find value in before, it's just like its own little rabbit hole. You're constantly seeing it everywhere. Like I remember just like a couple of days ago, I was just driving down the street. I'm like, I'm so grateful for roads. I'm so grateful for gas stations. I'm so grateful for stoplights. I'm so grateful for crosswalks. So it was just like, I don't know if anyone's ever seen like that little girl on like TikTok who's like sitting in front of the mirror and she's like, I love my hair. I love my body. I love my head. I love my eyes. It was like that same kind of feeling of like going down the road with gratitude. I just was so grateful. And I have never felt that way before until, I started to really put value into my thoughts and channel them into the right direction. Have you felt like the same thing, Jake? I mean, he's always been grateful. He's such a grateful person, so much gratitude. It is the hardest thing to shop for Jake for presents because he rarely ever says, oh, I want that so bad. Oh, I wish I could have that. So I just want that. And so it's really hard to shop for him. And it's really like I had to put a lot of thought into his Christmas presents. And then one time this last week, he said, oh my gosh, I really want that. And guess what it was? It was David Goggins came out with like a pre-order for a t-shirt that he made. And Jake was like, oh my gosh, I have to have that because he like loves David Goggins. So do I. But that was like a very rare occurrence. Jake wants the t-shirt that David Goggins had made. But I love that trait about Jake. And it's something that I think that is maybe so I can work on. I find myself being like, oh my gosh, that would be awesome. I would love to go on that vacation. I would love that. I just need to be more content with what I have, but also still have my dreams and my goals, but also live in the present a little bit more. And Jake's just really, really good at that. And do you have any tricks for that, Jake? Like I'm still working on it and getting better, but for everyone else too.
Yeah, any tips or tricks? I'm really a big fan of, just like I mentioned earlier, just starting and ending each day with a prayer of gratitude. I also think, just being grateful for a lot of things, like having gratitude and just being overall happy, are two separate but very connected topics. Your Someone I think once said, like, your amount of happiness you have only goes as far as your gratitude. And I don't know, I just am like, I just love being on this earth like every day and always trying to find things to be happy for every day. And I know some people don't feel that way. I like, for I don't know, for example, like this year at UNC, it's been a little like crazy in the regards where,
Let's preface it.
okay,
He's a medical student at University of North Carolina. So we're living in Chapel Hill right now, and he just started medical school first year in July. So just a few months ago.
go Heels.
Go Heels.
So yeah, maybe about a couple weeks into school, we had there was a lockdown because there was an active shooter on campus. Tragically, one of our professors was shot and killed. Just something that I've never experienced before. I'm like, wow, like this is. It just kind of hit me like this. That could have been my professor. That could have been me. That could have been in our classroom where the shooter was. Um, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, another lockdown for another gunman on campus. And I'm just like, wow, like I just woke up that day, like not expecting anything to happen. Next thing I know, I'm locked in an anatomy lab for 4 hours. Just like, it was a crazy feeling. And then, I mean, even then, like a month or two later, I'm evacuated from just one of the hospital clinics I was at, because a battery exploded. And then 2 days later, we had to evacuate again because there was lead poisoning everywhere and everyone was throwing up. And it just like really put things into perspective that, like, you literally never know when it is going to be your last day on earth. Like, I know it sounds like awful, but like literally, I'm just, each day that we have is seriously such a gift. Um, like our lives can be taken from us at any moment. And so just to be able to wake up and to have a body and to be healthy, like I'm so grateful, like, that my Heavenly Father has allowed me to be able to live every single day. And so I guess just looking at it with that perspective too, just literally this could literally be my last day on this earth, like with everyone I love. So yeah, I want to make the most out of all my interactions with everyone. I want to look at the bright side on literally everything in life because you're so much happier when you do that.
It really puts things into perspective. Like I feel like that was kind of the main theme I got from what you were saying. Like the big things that seem big right now are really little, and maybe the things that we think are little are actually big when you put your life into a valuable perspective like you just did. Like really what things matter is how you decide to live your life. Being grateful, the way you treat others, the way you make others feel, the way you are treating your life. Like, are you living to your full potential? Are you capping your potential? Because if you are, that's not what you were designed by your Heavenly Father to do. You were designed to, be a leader, be a voice, be someone who shares love. And I love that perspective that you brought about the shooting, that this truly is such a gift. Every day we're living on borrowed time. This is not about us, this life. It's about God and the way his plan and how he likes to move his little pieces, and we want to be a catalyst for him. And so our life really is not our own. So, our life is a gift. And something that I've learned also is I'm a nurse, and I've worked in both the emergency room and the neonatal intensive care unit. And kind of similarly to what Jake has said, life is a gift, and it can vanish in the blink of an eye, quite literally. And I've seen that many of times while I've been in the ER trying to, save people's lives. And it just happens on an instant. Things just happen, and your body just has to function perfectly all the time. And if it doesn't, very bad things can happen. So the way our bodies even physiologically function is amazing. So while working on the neonatal intensive care unit, I went and helped deliver these babies. I also took care of the sick babies, but I went to every single delivery to make sure that these babies were delivered safely, because a lot of times babies, they come out not breathing right because their first breaths are hard. It takes a lot of power to push all that fluid out. It takes a lot of power to open up their lungs. So if they're not going to do that the first time, they may need help. They may need they need you to keep them warm, because if they don't get warm, then their blood sugar goes down and then bad things can happen. So just forming a baby is insane. Everything has to go so perfectly right. And I think even the most advanced, OBGYNs are still blown away by how we can form a baby. It's such a miracle. So just the little functions of our body every day are just miraculous. And the fact that we can reproduce the way we do is miraculous. The inventions that we've come up with in today's day and age is miraculous. And so there's just so much to be grateful for. We have so many resources. We also have bad resources, like I feel like we have bad resources that can mislead us if we choose to give value to them. So give value to things that are going to bring value to your life. I did come across this TED Talk that I want to read part of it to you. It's about a gratitude of prayer. And this is by Dr. Carolyn Miss. This whole TED Talk was about ways to cure depression. And it's just mindset changes that she talks about. But this is what she says, quote, "Choose to get up every single day and bless your day and say, I have no idea what is going to be in my day, but it is blessed. Why? Because I am alive. And don't base your gratitude on your life, on what you have or how you feel, but just because you are. And then hold in your heart this prayer. This day in my life will never come again. I will never see the people I am looking at again. I will never see that sunrise again, and I will never see that sunset. I will never see the person having breakfast with me again. Just this way. Nothing in my life like this will ever come again. That choice alone should take out of your heart every bitter taste there is. It will help shape the life around you with such grace and such beauty that it will make you only want to see the present with great gratitude and love." I love that prayer. I love it because it just brings you back into the present moment. It just kind of lets you step back and just take a deep breath and look at all the things you have right now. There's so much regret in this world, and there's so much worry in this world, which focuses on the past and the future and not the present, right? So I feel like this prayer is just like a prayer of grace, like a prayer of love, just to be so, so grateful with what you have today. Like I think about when we get ready in the morning, Jake and I, and like we both make our smoothies in the morning. I'm like, we're going to look back at this when we're like, hopefully 70 plus years old. Hopefully we live that long. And we're going to be like, those were such good times. Like those were so fun and adventurous. We got up at 5 a.m. together and went to the gym together. We made our smoothies together. We walked to Lucy in the morning together. We're going to love it. And like, I do love it right now, but it just brings so much more value to it, knowing what a beautiful moment this is.
Yeah, I like when you were just the whole thing that you read, how you just preface it with just a mindset shift and everything in there, just talking about just a shift of your mindset. And there's like so many different ways that we can look at everything. And it reminded me of a song by Scotty McCreery called Dirty Dishes. And it just like talking about the mom just praying how grateful she is for dirty dishes in the sink, because that means that they have money to buy food. That means that they have kids that are eating the food. And Like it's just so she could either view it like, oh my gosh, I have so many dishes I have to do, or I'm so grateful that I have the opportunity to do dishes because that means we have enough money for food. We're hungry. We're full. We're not hungry. We have a family that eats dinner together. So just like just changing your mindset to view things in the positive rather than the negative, and it just will make you so much more happy. And like you said, a heart full of love, and your days will go so much more smoother. And like you said, I think at the beginning, like when you're grateful for things, everything just kind of seems to just line up in your path. I don't think that's necessarily because like you get better opportunities because you're grateful. I think you just are able to recognize them when they come in because of how grateful you are, because you're looking for things to be grateful for.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. I feel like what you said, I really like that you're able to recognize them, because things that like may seem like roadblocks could be opportunities if you view it that way. Is it a learning opportunity? Is this a chance to meet somebody new? Is my flight delayed because I wanted to meet this person? Or there's just so many different ways to view different scenarios. And if you just let it be on God's time, if it's meant to be for me, it's meant for me. If it's not, it's not. And it just takes all the stress away, takes so much stress away. And I constantly am having to remind myself, if it's meant for me, it's meant for me, and it will be presented to me. That doesn't mean I can't go after some things, but it will present itself in a way that I will recognize it. And I think something that I've learned these last few months is your brain is malleable. You can shift your mindset in different ways to channel your thoughts. Your thoughts are only thoughts. It's just the way your mind is interpreting this world. You choose what you give value to. And then what you give value to will leave an indent in your brain. And the more you give value to something, the more that pathway is used, the more familiar your brain becomes with it. And then the more you access that pathway. And then once you stop using the non-helpful pathways like complaining, victimizing, your brain starts to become more unfamiliar with those pathways. So your brain will not use those as much. So the more you give value to the good and leave out, like don't give value to the bad, you're literally physiologically changing a shift in your mind. So it's not only this, mumbo jumbo, it's physiologically in your brain, these different neural pathways. Your brain is malleable. So when people say people can't change, that's completely not true. You can change your mind. It's just, do you want to give value to those things? They have to decide for themselves. So I guess that's the challenge for this week, is start to shift your mind to more valuable gratitude. Start to find things that you weren't grateful for before, and start developing that pathway over and over, and stop complaining, stop victimizing, so that you're not using that pathway, the old pathway. So just, your thoughts are just thoughts. Bring value to what's going to help you. And I hope you guys enjoyed today's podcast. We had so much fun doing it together, and we're excited for next week. Love you all.